Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio, and today I am going to turn my Cardinal that I did for Art Snacks into a Christmas card. So I shrunk it down and made multiple copies, and I'm going to kind of assembly line this. I also wrote out some Christmas stories or bits and pieces of Christmas stories, and then took them, and there's 3 pages there somewhere. There we go. In scribbly handwriting. I didn't really want it too legible. And then I shrunk those down, and they're going to kind of be just background, texture-ish sort of thing. So I've got them all chopped up and ready to go. And I'll just create one of them and show you how I did that. So I decided to have torn edges around the Cardinal, just to be in contrast to the straight edges of the Christmas stories, I guess. That's what's on there. I mean, if you look closely, you can see the word angels and believe and reindeer. But it's going to be mostly covered up, so you won't see a lot of that. It's just to make it interesting. Alright. So I tore around the edges. And now I'm going to color, and this is all copy paper. So I'm going to take the words and kind of stain them brown. So I just got it wet so that it would get in there faster and soak in. And just putting a little darker around the edges, just to make it a little darker on the edges. And there we go. That's it. And I'll dry it. It'll lighten up quite a bit. So there we go. We have the 2 pages. And now I'm taking Ranger's Archival in coffee. That's the brown I have. And I just barely do it with the pad, so it's actually just a line. So with this one, I'm doing it with the sponge and just kind of doing the edges. It makes it look kind of, I don't know, kind of looks burnt actually. But that was not the intent. It was just to kind of, shade it so the different layers show up. There we go. Now, I didn't have any red cardstock. I was going to just this is my card blank, and I was going to do a square of red cardstock and then put the images on there, but I didn't have it. And since I have this, it's gouache. I wanted to call it chalk paint. Kind of reminds me of chalk paint. The Liquitex gouache that I got with my Art Snacks, figured I would just use that to create a red background. And my Cardinal, it is just a color copy, so it's not quite the same intensity as the original paint, but it's close enough. If you want to see the painting of the Cardinal and you haven't seen that, I will link it below so you can see me create that. I'm not trying to make the lines even. I want them to look painterly. Since it is painterly, there's no point in trying to make it perfect. And that way it looks handmade, right? Okay, so I think this is called score tape. I really like this one because I can just tear it. And I'm just going around the edges. I didn't want to mess with matte medium, and I wasn't sure glue stick would hold, and it's just copy paper weight, so glue would have just made a mess. Glue wouldn't have worked. How's that? A glue stick would have worked, I just wasn't sure how well it would hold up, and I think this works well. If I can get it off there. There we go. Okay. Make sure we've got our words upside down. I mean upside up. Make sure we don't put it upside down. How's that? So after I make this card, I sort of assembly line it. I do all the painting, all the staining, then glue each layer on, and I was going through putting the second layer on, and noticed I had 1 out of 50 that I put the words on backwards. Actually, I put the card completely backwards. The opening's on the wrong side. But I noticed it before I completely finish it, so the bird's upright. It's all good. And the words are mostly covered up, so you can't tell. Now this piece of paper is a leftover scrap of jelly print, and I am just going to use it for just another layer of interest. And I need a pokey tool or something to get the backing off of this tape. There we go. So we're just going to stick that on there. And hopefully I left enough space for it to show up. Oh, and I didn't mention that's Christmas washi tape. I have a variety of that, so on all my cards that'll be a little different. The jelly print, of course, will be a little different, because I don't have enough of that one pattern to do 50 cards, so there'll be a little bit of variety. I think that makes it fun and interesting, especially if 2 people in the same place get a card. So you'll see this jump a little bit because camera stopped and I'd completed this card, so I started another one. So this is actually a different one. Can't tell, can you? So here I'm just taking a colored pencil. The first time I used the scribble sticks from Dina Wakley, but it was a little messy, so I thought I'd try the colored pencil, and I like that. And in fact, I get tired of it, so in the end, none of them get that shading, and I think they're fine without it. I know this is going over multiple layers. I do not have one of those, I don't know what you call them, misties or whatever, those stamping rigs. So I was hoping that would go dark enough. So there we are. There, that's the one with the scribble stick. Right there. I'm showing you. I've put glossy accents on it, and I'm going to add it just to the eye, because you can hardly see the eye, and then that'll add like a little glossy reflection. So there we go, and here is all 50. This is them drying with the glossy accents. But I hope you liked that. If you did like it, please hit like, feel free to share, comment, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.